All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome. This is episode 3 of Right Manga going through the George. I don't remember his name. I'm sorry. The affidavit against Andrew Holness, because he's carrying the IC to court. I don't want to waste any time. Please, guys, just smash that like button, and I want you guys to listen attentively because this is going to be a long video, around 30 minutes, 32 minutes. I'm letting y'all know from now, but the information is invaluable. All right, so let's get to it, ladies and gentlemen. Please remember to like, share, and subscribe if you haven't already. Follow all of my pages and donate if you want. You know what I'm saying? You can bless up the platform. It's right there on the screen. Donate to the Cash App or the PayPal. All right, if you see fit. God bless the ones that do. And yeah, share the live, y'all. Let's get it. Let's go. Miss Right Mango. This is episode 3 of the affidavit. All right, let's get it.
Okay, everybody, we're now continuing with looking at the Integrity Commission's affidavit. That is Craig Beresford's affidavit. And of course, Craig Beresford is the Director of Investigation um, in the Integrity Commission. And Andrew Holness, basically, he's the defendant in the lawsuit filed by Andrew Holness, the first defendant. All right? So we're continuing. Summary of Mr. Holness's response to the Integrity Commission's letter dated October 5, 2017. The following responses were provided by Mr. Holness in response to queries raised in the above mentioned letter, and as stated before, we accept them. Explanation. So query 1. Query 1, it's in a table form. Source of funds invested in Oland investments, in particular deposits totaling US $316,000 and US $113,573 in 2006 and 2007. And this is his explanation. Mr. Holness explained that he commenced investments in Oland in mid 2005, totaling US $36,109, as well as which is Jamaican $2.3 million, derived from the proceeds of loan collections from Omega Bridge Financing, the sale of assets from Sunshine Mobile Company Limited, and interest withdrawn from Cash Plus Limited. All right. Appendix 6.11 attached to Mr. Holness's financial journal indicated that the balance on this account was US $108,352 at April 30th, 2006. He further explained that in October 2006, his account type changed to an account yielding higher returns to ameliorate discrepancies on the first account he held. Mr. Holness indicated that the $306,033 noted as opening balance in his account was therefore not a new investment. At August 2007, the balance in this account was US $1.2 million. Explanation for additional deposits are noted below. Neat. So his deposits were initially US $15,600 and US $20,400, which end up being US $36,109. The next. All right. So Mr. Holness explained that US $80,000 was deposited in June 2006 from the first encashment of a portion of US $90,000 First Global Bank repurchase agreement, which originated from the proceeds of the sale of assets in Sunshine Mobile Company Limited, the Leader Taxi Service, and a collection of loans proceeds issued through Omega Bridge Financing Limited. The Financial Journal. So that is a deposit of $80,000, US $80,000. The Financial Journal indicated that US $9,995 deposited in November 2006 was derived from interest withdrawn from amounts invested in Cash Plus. So that was $9,995. Mr. Holness also noted that this deposit of US $19,995 was invested in Oland in February 2007 from interest withdrawn from his Cash Plus. So that is $19,995. All right. Mr. Holness's financial journal indicated that US $93,000, $578 was the last deposit he made to Oland's account in April 2007. This amount was derived from approximately $1.3 million from an annual fundraising dinner for his constituency and approximately $5.1 million from the encashment of his cash plus investment. So that is US $93,578. Mr. Holness explained that US $33,000 was withdrawn from the Oland account in June 2007 and added to the $20,000 US, which was reserved from an annual fundraising dinner for his constituency and was used to purchase a motor vehicle for the 2007 election. So he spent US $33,000, right? And that was a withdrawal. All right, so them have it in table form here. Mr. Holness's financial journal indicated that US $117,483 was withdrawn in August 2007 and deposited in his BNS US dollars account. So that is US $117,483. According to Mr. Holness, the US $150,000 withdrawn from the Oland account was deposited. So remember now, him withdraw all of him money them in the alternative investment scheme them before them collapse. Oland and Cash Plus gone with everybody money except for Andrew Holness' own. All right. Sounds like SSL? Maybe it is like SSL. According to Mr. Holness, the US $150 withdrawn from the Oland account was deposited in December 2007 to Bank of America US dollar savings account. And that is 150,000. I've been saying that this is a transnational laundering operation where we need to call in international help for. You see, it gone to Bank of America now. Mr. Holness explained that US $350,000 was withdrawn in March 2008 and used with previous withdrawals to acquire new properties. Right? So that's US $350,000. The next query, Panadian Limited. Panadian. So we don't even know about this, but there is a Panadian Limited. Amount invested in acquisitions and sources of funding, 2003. LUHRS 360SX Express Sport Fishing Vessel. Oh, in buy a boat. So in buy a fishing boat. That is A. Documentary evidence supporting the transfer of shares other shareholders. That is B. Explanation. Mr. Holness explained that in his financial journal that the company Panadian Limited was registered to facilitate the acquisition of the boat. Also, he registered a company to buy the boat. Oh, I'm doing buy assets in his name. I see. When the opportunity arose in 2008 to acquire the boat, he agreed to the sale price of US $220,000 and was to be borne equally by three shareholders, Andrew Holness, Ian Moore, and Paul East of the company. He noted that the purchase was to be financed by internal transfer among Oland account holders. Mr. Moore indicated that the purchase and transferred the Mr. Moore initiated the purchase and transferred the amount to the vendor. Mr. Holness said he paid US $40,000 from his Oland account to Mr. Moore. No additional amount was paid over as Oland collapsed shortly after. Mr. Holness said he transferred his shareholding and resigned as a director as per his letter dated September 30th, 2014 to the remaining shareholders directors. All right. That one don't have no. All right. Query 3, ADMAT Incorporated Properties Source of Funding. All right. Apartment 11, 4 Arcadia Drive. Prior purchase, $16,000. This property was acquired on September 15, 2008 for $16 million, not $16,000, $16 million, as per certification of title. Mr. Holness explained that this and other properties acquired under the ADMAT name during that period were acquired using funds withdrawn from Oland, including US $350,000 other amounts encashed from Oland investments in late 2007, discretionary income and income from property rental. Of note, he disclosed in footnote 25 on page 20 of his financial journal that he did not declare rental income from this apartment between February 2008 and to 2012. So every minute something else turn up in Andrew Holness account. Lot 56, Wycliffe Close, Beverly Hills, 15.275 million. This property was acquired on February 3rd, 2009 for $15,275. $15,275 as per certificate of title. Mr. Holness explained that this and other properties acquired under the ADMAT name and during the period were acquired using funds withdrawn from Oland, including US 350,000 and other amounts encashed in late 2007, discretionary income and income from property rental. So that is part 6. We're going into part 7. Because we are going done this, we are going done this. Everybody, welcome to part 7 of the Craig Beresford Affidavit. For those of you who don't know, make sure you go back to part 1 because it's a series. This is going to be the last part I do for the night because it's late, I'm tired. But at least this content will keep you intrigued until I continue tomorrow. So we are at the point now where Mr. Holness is trying to explain how he acquired so much money to basically obtain so many assets and invest so much money in it. What is very interesting too is the fact that Mr. Holness always seems to withdraw his money from investment schemes and financial institutions right before they collapse, like Cash Plus, Oland. You understand? He has managed to always withdraw money before these institutions collapse. So we are now at the property under ADMAT in the basically his explanation, because Mr. Holness made a financial journal basically detailing how him obtained the money from 1998, because a long time them are questioning him, and I just know there it's not just now the Integrity Commission have questions about Andrew Holness's unexplained wealth. It's long time. So now we're at lot 202 Shenstone Crescent, Beverly Hills, Kingston, and this was acquired for US 300,000. According to Mr. Holness, this property was acquired in 2011 for US 300,000 using encashed investments with Stocks and Securities Limited. Stocks and Securities enter the picture now, and GMMB, totaling $28,300,000 as at December 2010. Accounts held with SSL totaled US $342,000, and with GMMB totaling US $94,000. The Mr. Holness Financial Journal responses only provided detailed explanation for the initial expenses totaling $11.3 million related to the construction of a house on this property. The Commission's October 5, 2017 letter generally asked for an explanation of the sources of funds used for the development of costs associated with the constructions of the said house. At December 2017, as per statutory declaration, development costs associated with this project total $67.9 million. The December 2017 statutory declaration also lists liabilities to suppliers stood at $20.2 million, and a Scotia mortgage $10 million related to this property. In the financial journal, Mr. Holness explained that it was convenient to purchase building material for the property through his wife's company, JAJ, and as a result incurred a balance of $18.2 million on suppliers' accounts. It'll get interesting now. 23 Hill Road, part of lot 26 Norbrook Heights, formerly Constant Spring Estates, and that is $3 million. This property was not declared by Mr. Holness until a note was submitted with his February 25, 2016 statutory declaration. Same hide this property. In his financial journal, Mr. Holness explained that this property was purchased in Admat's name but was owned by his sister. He explained that the purchase was initiated in June 2010 and he advanced 200,000 and 500,000 in consideration of a down payment. Mr. Holness said his sister made the other payments with his assistance. He indicated that the property was transferred to Admat in June 2012 for a consideration of $3 million. He explained that he did not declare this property as he did not consider it to be his. Him buy the property in his sister's name. Even though it was purchased in Admat's, him purchased the property. Boy, what a tangled web. Me not even try to explain this. Lot 15, 26 Norbrook Heights. Again, $3 million. A search of tax administration's records has revealed that Admat had taken steps to purchase a property at Lot 15, 26 Norbrook Heights, commencing on August 4th, 2011. For a consideration of $3 million. Mr. Holness, in his financial journal, explained that he was not aware of a second and separate property from the one previously noted and situated at this location. Stocks and securities, US 100,000 as at December 2007. Mr. Holness explained that this amount was invested in November 2007 from amounts in cash from Oland. So moving money from Oland to SSL. Let that sink in. US 8,125. Mr. Holness explained that this amount was the rate paid on the US 100,000 investment in 2007. Let that sink in. Mr. Holness explained that this amount was invested in November 2007 from amounts in cash from Oland. So moving money from Oland to SSL. Let that sink in. US 8,125. Mr. Holness explained that this amount was the rate paid on the US 100,000 investment in 2007. US $193,884. Mr. Holness indicated that the balance at December 2009 was in fact US $293,000, which included the initial investment of US $100,000 that had a market value at 2009 of US $92,355 and a US $7,000 invested in stocks. The US $193,800 also included US 16,000 coupon payments generated on the bonds previously held and proceeds from the sale of the 2025 BMW, which was sold for $3 million. Income from property rental, which is $1.67 million. Loans advances recovered for $11.4 million, and discretionary income. All right, so US $342,153. Mr. Holness explained that this represented a rollover of previous investments in GOJ bonds, repos, and stocks, and interest earned. He indicated that the repos grew by US $44,000, of which a portion was interest. He did not specify any other source of funding. Additionally, in 2010, $1.3 million was withdrawn from his account and loan to Paul East, US $7,000 at December 2009. Mr. Holness explained that this was a small holding in stocks. He did not provide any further explanation as to the source of funds used in this investment, US $54,500. Mr. Holness explained that the US dollar bond was funded by encashed Oland investments withdrawn in 2007 from the US $350,000 encashed in 2008. Oh, what a whole heap. US $94,133. The investment was first declared in 2009. US $101,569 as held by Mr. Andrew Holness. This investment was subsequently declared as an ADMAT investment with a balance of US $94,100. Mr. Holness explained that the initial investment was funded from the proceeds of the sale of the 2005 BMW for $3 million. Income from property rental, 1.67 million. Loans advances recovered 11.4 million, and discretionary income. Mr. Holness explained that the investment balance reduced as funds were withdrawn from it for personal loan to Paul East, US 13,500. BNS account 246018, and that has 1.42 million. Mr. Holness explained that he did not have access to his bank account statement for that period. However, his parliamentary salary increased that year by approximately $1 million, and he received retroactive pay of $1,082,000, which would reflect positively in his bank account as no new assets were acquired in that year. First Global Financial Services, US $10,899. Mr. Holness indicated that in March 2006, he placed US $90,000 or 5.8 million on a purchase agreement derived from the proceeds of the sale of his assets in the Leader Taxi Service Limited and final set of collections on outstanding loans to Omega Bridge Finance. All right, so this is part 7. Tomorrow we'll do more. All right. For the affidavits, and for those of you who don't know, they're Jamaicans, so we want to continue with our look at the Craig Beresford affidavits. And for those of you who don't know, Craig Beresford is the Director of Information and Complaints at the Integrity Commission, and he made an affidavit in this investigation, in this case brought by Andrew Holness, which Andrew Holness himself tried to have struck out, claiming that it was scandalous. And of course, yesterday, Justice Althea Jarrett of the Supreme Court ruled that the affidavit should remain. Now, the affidavit they wrote, we have been looking at the affidavit since yesterday. We've done parts 1 to 7. Since morning, I've already done a summary video of everything that was discussed yesterday. So now we continue with part 8. So we begin on page 16, and we're looking at the additional information which may be required. It was earlier indicated that the documents submitted by the Prime Minister were accepted as being additional records and explanations and form the basis upon which we shall require additional information. A. Proceeds from the sale of assets related to 3 businesses, proof of ownership of business assets and proof of sales transactions and or the receipts of the proceeds from the sale of business assets. B. Personal loans and advances. The specific source of $1.38 million and US $92,000 or 7.3 million Jamaican loaned or advanced to Mrs. Juliet Holness. C. Query 1, Oland Investments. Mr. Holness should state if any other deposits were made, and if so, state the amounts and specify the source of such funds. D. Query 3, ADMAT, Arcadia Drive apartment. Mr. Holness should explain when he took possession of the apartment and substantiate the amount noted as rental income earned in 2008 of $1,075,320 in his financial journal. E. Query 3. ADMAT, construction costs related to Lot 202 Shenstone Crescent, the big house upper Beverly Hills. Mr. Holness should provide further explanation to substantiate the source of funds for construction costs of approximately $40 million in relation to the property at Lot 202 Shenstone Crescent. Now, this is so funny. I remember in 2016 when Dr. Peter Phillips started querying about how Andrew was sourcing funds for the construction of his big house up Beverly Hills. People did claim, say, Dr. Phillips, bad mind. Now look where we are 9 years later. Where are we 9 years later? Is this Jamaican people? We don't mean ourselves any good. Query 3, ADMAT, 23 Hill Road, Lot 26, Norbrook Heights. Mr. Holness should provide information on the full cost of acquisition for this property. Notwithstanding his explanation that this property is owned by his sister, he is obligated as the legal owner to provide a complete explanation of the full price and the source of funding for the settlement of the full price. Conclusion. Given what has been provided by the Prime Minister, it is noted that there were several omissions in relation to income declaration, ownership and investments in company assets, investments in alternative investment schemes, amounts noted as being personal loans and advances. These omissions affect statutory declarations for the years 1998 to 2016, some of which it is noted that the previous Integrity Commission indicated were clear. We have also indicated our acceptance of what was supplied and have pointed to the additional information that may be required. Attention is now being drawn to the Parliament Integrity of Members Act, Section 6, 5, Section 12, 1, 1A, 2, 3, and 4, and Section 15, 1 and B. And this is from David Gray, who basically was the Director of Investigations acting, as well as Joy Powell, Director of Information and Complaints acting. So these were the original people in the post. So all of this investigation predated Craig Beresford and Kevin Stevenson, who are now being dragged across the coal by labor rights. Right? Maybe the fact that these two were acting in their positions, they weren't appointed because of this investigation. And when they were replaced by new people who had no political leanings, these new people continued doing their job that they're paid to do, and they were basically painted as being political sycophants for doing their jobs. Okay, so now we continue. And we're looking at a letter from the Integrity Commission dated July 30th, 2019, addressed to Mr. David Gray, who was the Director of Investigations at the time. Again, the date was July 30th, 2019. And this letter is from the Honorable Justice Carl Harrison, CD, who is the Chairman of the Integrity Commission at this time. And this is re-investigation of statutory declarations for the Most Honorable Andrew Holness. At a meeting of the Commission held on Tuesday, July 30th, 2019, members agreed that you should be requested to endeavor to take steps as you fit to complete the investigation into the matter of statutory declarations for the Most Honorable Andrew Holness. Yours truly, the Honorable Justice Carl Harrison, CD. And the commissioners at this time were the Honorable Mr. Justice Carl Harrison, CD, who is the chair, the Honorable Mr. Justice Seymour Panton, OJ, CD, Miss Pamela Monroe Ellis, and Mr. Earl Crawford, as well as Derek McCoy. Okay, so now we get a memorandum from Information and Complaints Division addressed to Mr. Kevin Stevenson, Director of Investigation. So now the Director of Investigation changed from Joy Powell to Kevin Stevens. And this is coming from the new Director of Information now, Mr. Craig Beresford. Remember, the one before was David Gray. And this letter is dated June 2, 2021. Referral for investigation, Andrew Holness. Please, and remember, this letter is from Craig Beresford, the Director of Information and Complaints, to Kevin Stevenson, the Director of Investigations. Both of these people are being sued by Andrew Holness because him claims say them digging up too much of his business, even though they're doing their job. Please find attached the updated financial analysis report for the Most Honorable Andrew Holness, ONMP, which covers the period June 30th, 1998 to December 31st, 2019. All right. The Integrity Commission Financial Analysis Report updated. Name Andrew Holness, 1 Shenstone Drive, St. Andrew. Employer, Government of Jamaica, his TRN is there. Introduction. This matter was previously with the Investigations Division. Given that the information was dated, the Director requested that the Information and Complaints Division update the information and pass same back to the Investigations Division. Legal basis. I want to listen to this carefully now, how we're getting into the nitty-gritty. Corruption. under Section 14.5 of the Corruption Prevention Act. Now listen, where a public servant A owns assets disproportionate to his lawful earnings, and B, upon being requested by the Commission or any person duly authorized to investigate an allegation of corruption against him, to provide an explanation as to how he came by such assets, he, 1, fails to do so, or 2, gives an explanation which is not considered to be satisfactory, he shall be liable to prosecution for the offense of illicit enrichment, and on conviction thereof to the penalty specified in sections 15.1. All right. Methodology for analysis. The analysis involved property transactions inquiry at the National Land Agency, motor vehicle transaction inquiry at the Tax Administration Jamaica, company directors inquiry at the Companies Office of Jamaica, net worth computation, and financial analysis. All right. So you see, so we are getting to the meat of the matter now. So we're concluding part 8 at this point. We're going to continue with the findings, which is going to be the meat of the matter, part 9. So I want to stay tuned and listen to the rest, because listen to me, Jamaicans, this is nail biting. This is nail biting information. Now you will see why Andrew Holness does not want this information out there. Imagine he is being investigated for corruption under the Illicit Enrichment Act. Is nail biting. This is nail biting information. Now you will see why Andrew Holness does not want this information out there. Imagine he is being investigated for corruption under the Illicit Enrichment Act. Wow. As the Prime Minister. And him still want power. Stay tuned for part 9.
That is part 3. Well, episode 3. That's part 9 for her, but episode 3 for me in recording her, putting in the groundwork. I also have a playlist, and all these episodes will be in the playlist, so you can watch from 1 to whenever this ends. And I'll be going through all of her videos. So I'll be going through 3 more videos for part 4. Just let me know what you guys think in the comment section, ladies and gentlemen. A lot was said, and I would love to hear your thoughts on this part of the affidavit. So stay tuned, and see you in the next video or live stream. You guys have a wonderful day, night, wherever you are in the world. All right, stay prayed up, and God bless you. It's your brother Bolo VNR 2.0, Bolo VNR Clips, Bolo VNR, and Bolo TBV, and I'm out. Peace.